Joining me now is Natalie Winters, co-host of Steve Bannon's War Room. Natalie, great to see you as always. Now, the White House have announced a budget surplus in June. Take a listen.
Customs and tariff revenue has already totaled more than $113 billion since President Trump entered office, helping to lead a budget surplus in June for the first time in nearly a decade. We are truly entering a golden age as a result of these pro-growth and America First trade policies.
Now, Natalie, we do call this the American Renaissance, but a budget surplus, billions of dollars pouring in through Donald Trump's tariffs. What do you make of it? And more importantly, what do the MAGA base make of this? Is Donald Trump a better economist than all those so-called economists around the world?
Well, of course, it's exactly what we voted for, not just from the tariffs and trade war perspective, but also President Trump, I think, proving the experts wrong and wrong again and again and again, whether the issue is on trade, national security, domestic issues like immigration. And I think something that's really been underreported from the legacy media outlets, which I'm sure are very pained to have to report this figure, is how a lot of these trade deals that they're structuring most recently with countries like Indonesia, for example, they're not just about trade coming from an economic perspective. There's also a lot of geostrategic advantages sort of intertwined for both nations. And a lot of these deals often focused on countering the Chinese Communist Party, which I think is sort of the primary threat that both of our countries face. So this is a huge win. Like I said, exactly what we voted for, and the base is very excited.
Now, I want to ask you, of course, about the Epstein Files. The saga shows no sign of slowing down. Donald Trump is getting a bit cranky with some of his supporters. Have a listen.
Some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a guy who obviously had some very serious problems who died 3-4 years ago.
Natalie, will the Epstein thing just blow away? Is Donald Trump being overly optimistic, or will he galvanize support behind him?
No, I mean, I respectfully disagree. And I think that this whole incident has been perhaps one of the most mismanaged comms rollouts, botched, I think, releases of information from the get-go, going back all the way to sort of the start of Bindergate. People may remember the pictures of the influencers holding phase one. But I think the important point to make, right, in President Trump's probably infamous Truth Social post, where he likened the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation to a hoax, the only reason that we know all of the other hoaxes that he referenced, whether it was the Russia stuff, the COVID stuff, the reason why we know those were untrue was because we had a full release of the information, of the relevant documents, to actually disprove the allegations coming from sort of legacy outlets on those certain issues. I think this is the issue that President Trump's base, I've seen the most sustained wavering and sort of departure from his efforts to gloss over it. That being said, there's obviously a big Wall Street Journal report. Pam Bondi is expected to sort of unseal the grand jury testimony, and maybe we will see some more documents turn over. But I think fundamentally there's a misunderstanding as to why President Trump's base is so interested in this list, the people who are on it, who are involved, because it gets to the heart of what the MAGA movement is about, which is who runs this country, what are they motivated by, and what have they been able to get away with thanks to a 2-tier, if not 3-tier justice system.
Well, speaking, I guess, of the deep state, the U.S. Transportation and Security Administration has seen changes with travellers no longer required to remove their shoes. Remember all that nonsense, removing your shoes? It's now been reported that the rules to carry on liquids might be changed as well. About time, but what is happening here, Natalie?
Look, I think moves like these are really politically expedient for the Trump administration. I don't care if you love Trump or hate Trump. I don't think anyone likes taking their shoes off at these airports, right? It's an easy win. It's common sense. I have pre-checks, so I don't have to deal with that. But for those of you who don't, I think you should be thanking President Trump for this one.
Exactly. That's great. Thank you so much, Natalie Winters. Always great to chat to you, and we'll chat to you again next week.